Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Colin.
And welcome to Carida Cast, episode 14.
14. Ooh.
All right.
Yeah. So we got a lot of content recently. A lot of that content being The Mandalorian, which has been great. Oh, now I've got a cat in here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when we recorded the last one,
It was just before it dropped, I think.
Right.
It was like the last... was it the trailer for The Mandalorian had dropped? Or was it the trailer for episode 9?
It might have been episode 9, because I think it was like mid-October when we recorded, or late October. I don't know. I'm scheduled to listen to that one tomorrow to see how wrong we were. I don't think either of us predicted baby. Well, should we say spoilers?
Spoiler alert. That being said, it's been around the internet. People pretty much gave up on the whole no spoilers thing pretty quick.
Right, but if you haven't watched episodes 1, have you watched all 3?
I have watched all 3, yes.
So if you haven't watched episodes 1 through 3 of The Mandalorian, please don't listen to this show until you're done.
Yeah, turn off right now.
Pause it, watch it, and then come back.
Or keep it running in the background, but go do something else so that we still have listens or something.
That's true. Listen to it twice. So we can at least have more than Zoe some weeks. Yeah, so I started to print up our show notes, and I got distracted playing with our new clean feed recording. But so I guess we should talk right about The Mandalorian first, right?
Might as well.
So how bad do you want to be into Mando Mercs right now?
Oh my god, I've been looking up. I've been looking up like vendors for helmets and parts of things. I've been thinking up a personal an OC backstory, trying to draw up different colors, paint schemes for armor, and what materials I could use to do things. I'm in the planning stages at this point. I'm full on in.
Yeah. Well, I kind of got thrown into it early because Zoe joined. I think we talked a little bit about last episode. Zoe joined the Mando Mercs.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got thrown into it early. But, yeah, I'm thinking custom Mando now. And, well, I'm liking the Mandalorian, but I'm thinking custom Mando. Have you been to a Mandalorian Mercs armor party yet?
No, not one of their armor parties.
Okay, so Frank, he's the head of the Mercs in Pennsylvania. I can't say all their words. Zoe corrects me, so I'm not even going to attempt. But they have the Mandalorian type names for their clans and stuff. But their armor parties, I think they even have the sheets of material to help you cut your plates at the armor party.
Oh, really?
Like Frank and those guys, and they actually really build armor. So you have to get to a Mando Mercs armor party, and I think they have one once a month.
Oh, I didn't realize they were that frequent.
Yeah,
cool.
and they get some stuff done. So
I'm waiting for somebody to do a quality version, a rendering of the heavy infantry Mandalorian helmet.
Oh, from the last episode.
Yeah,
yes.
I think that's my favorite helmet design that I've seen for a Mandalorian.
Yeah, I like the
simple, but it's cool looking.
Yeah, I like the Mandalorian. I like his helmet, but I think there's going to be like 1 million of those out.
Yeah, I'm already seeing. Even if I was looking up, because like I just said, I was looking up vendors for them. I kept finding on Etsy tons of different versions, tons of different 3D print files and they're all different.
Right.
Every one of them looks slightly different, and none of them look quite right to me.
Well, I loaded one from Thingiverse and printed it, and it was bad. I went through a spool of filament, and it was oblong. So I bought the files from, I forget the website. I bought all the files for the Mandalorian and all their updates. Oh, so cool. I have the rifle printed. I just finished the pistol last week. I don't know if you saw my pictures of the pistol.
I don't think I saw the pistol. No, I knew the progress you were making on the rifle.
Yeah, the rifle I just have to assemble the big piece of pipe, which it's just been too cold to cut. But the pistol's done. The pistol was a nice print, and it was an easy print. I printed it with wooden grips and everything. I printed wooden grips for it. And it came out really nice.
Nice. That's the like wood filament?
Yep, it's like I think it's like a certain percentage of wood, but when you sand it, it has that wood feel,
cool.
And it stains like wood. So
does it sand and smooth out better than like the plastic does?
Yes, a little bit better, but it also
acetone.
Yes, and actually I was at Baltimore Comic Con probably a month ago, and I was at the Smooth On booth, and they had this paint that you paint on the 3D prints, and it makes it like glass.
Oh.
And I always saw people using it, but like everything else you see on the internet, I thought, that's dumb. But he had one sitting right there, and he actually gave me a sample of it to try. So I'm going to try that because that beats like 4 weeks of sanding something. You just paint it on, and it goes nice and smooth, and it's ready to cast.
Huh.
So.
And you don't think that would affect like create lumps in places?
Well, I'm gonna see, but they had a skull painted there, and it was like perfectly smooth. And then what's nice about it, if you're gonna cast it, then you just hit it with some high gloss paint, and then you make your mold. And I don't know how good it would be for something you're gonna carry or use all the time, but for something you're gonna mold, I think it'd be good. But yeah, so I don't know about you, but I was like, when I watched The Mandalorian, I was like completely surprised.
Oh yeah, it was taking turns I wasn't expecting, especially that the people who are not okay for spoilers are gone by now. So definitely with the Baby Yoda reveal, that
right.
I lost my mind. Oh, you could ask Olivia, and I was like out of the chair, running around the house, like screaming, "What the heck!" Like.
Well, that's what hooked Missy into watching it. The Baby Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
Well, or we know it's not Yoda. We should say that to everyone yelling at.
Sorry, Baby Yaddle.
Baby, whatever. We're calling it Baby Yoda because we don't know what else to call it. But it's kind of funny because it's almost like now I'm rethinking all this merchandise that Lucasfilm has put out in the last couple months, and they've been throwing a lot of Yodas at us. Like, I know some of the smuggler bounties come with a Yoda a little while back. Like random things.
I guess I haven't seen a higher influx in Yoda stuff. Maybe I'll have to look deeper. I guess I just always thought all the merchandise I was seeing was always Yoda. Anyway, I didn't think there was an increase in Yoda.
Yeah, there was like two little Yoda figurines that came. They just seemed random, and maybe they were. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. But the Baby Yoda looks like, and the girls used to have this toy. If anyone goes back, probably, I'm trying to think how old the girls were. Probably 10 to 13 years ago, they made like Fisher-Price or Play School Star Wars figures. They made a C-3PO, R2, Vader, and Yoda. And if you find that toy, it looks a lot like the Baby Yoda. Because the ears were a little pointy like that, like long and pointy. I got to find a picture of that. But yeah, the Baby Yoda, and then I like about the show is I like that little tidbit of action they show right before it starts.
Yeah.
Like it was
I'm
like
always a fan of that show structure too.
Yeah, like it was like the beginning when he got the guy out of the bar and froze him. Then the show starts. What was the second one? The fight with Trandoshans.
Yeah.
And what was
he like had the revelation that more fobs were given out to more bounty hunters than just him.
Yep. And then what was the third one? I'm trying to think what the
It was.
Was it just him I think it was just him taking Yoda in.
I think so. Yeah.
Which I didn't know, like, since I didn't see much about Yoda in the previews and all that, at a certain point I knew that he should rescue him and he eventually would. But the way they've been telling stories, I was like, it wouldn't have surprised me if he would have just been, okay, next job.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting that too. It was almost more of a surprise to me that he turned around and did what everybody wanted him to and saved Baby Yoda, which, of course, was an awesome action sequence.
Yes. Well, and I also think I'm still curious about the Mandalorians because they're different than the Mandalorians we saw in Clone Wars.
Yeah, this is almost more like a cult or a religion or something,
Right.
than like what Death Watch was like, or even the Mandalorians and Rebels was almost more like that was their armor, but it didn't seem as religious as these guys are.
Right, and I wonder if when they keep talking about the Purge, I wonder if that's what changed them. Like so many were destroyed that they kind of almost became like a boiled down dogma. If that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe.
Like there were so few of them there. Like, look, we have to protect this, and this. That's at least what I take. I'm like, well, they have to like really, you know, like keep themselves together so they don't get watered down or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I just started doing it. I've been rewatching Rebels because I haven't seen it in a while, and I've been one of the earlier seasons. I just watched the episode where it was the Protectors of Concord Dawn.
Oh,
with,
yes.
Fen Rao. And they still had some of that like culty atmosphere when like Sabine invokes the code with
Right.
like the duel to the death or whatever, and so that stuff is all kind of there, but it seemed like it wasn't as it was like they weren't living by the code, but when somebody brought up the code, then they had to. Whereas these guys, this like Mandalorian underground culture is like they live by the code, and if you're not living by the code, you're not living right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it was good because I guess technically episode 3 made him not a bounty hunter anymore.
Yeah, 'cause he broke the code.
I mean, well, he broke the bounty hunter code, the guild,
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. I'm getting like the music. I didn't get used to the music till after the second episode.
Oh, I liked the music in the second episode. Fighting the Mudhorn.
Right. No, I did, but the first episode, it took me a while to get used to the music. And now that I like it now because it has that Western sound.
But it's still got like space age electronic elements to it.
Yep. And it's almost like it tells you the story too. So in case you're not paying attention, like it's almost like you can know what's happening if you close your eyes. You can tell what's going on.
Yeah, really.
And it reminds me there was a video game in the mid-90s called Outlaw, made by LucasArts before they were closed down.
Mm.
It was a first-person shooter. It was a Western. And they made their Western music sound very close to this.
I guess maybe the composer was taking some notes.
Or it just, it just was, I used to have the soundtrack to it somewhere. I don't know what I did with it. It got lost in the shuffle.
Well, Westerns do have a very, especially the spaghetti Westerns, all of them were done by the same guy. Ennio Morricone was the composer for those, and they all have a very similar feeling and similar style, a lot of emotion to them, because so many shots in the Western films was like silence, traveling, staring, dramatic looks and things like that. So
Right.
It had to be told through the music.
Right. Yeah, I like that. I like the ship.
Oh, the ship is cool, yeah.
So episode 1, I'm trying to think, go in the order. Episode 1, the IG unit, what was it? IG 11?
11, yeah.
IG 11. I'm hoping that he comes back. I'm hoping somehow he gets rebuilt.
That might not have been. I'm thinking that wasn't IG-11. They keep showing so much promotional work for IG-11 that, like, maybe he was just a random IG unit.
Maybe. I'm still thinking two things. I'm thinking, like, in the wake of that Yoda, Baby Yoda, anywhere he goes is going to get destroyed. Like, someone's going to be, like, right behind him. Yeah. And I picture him somehow stopping back at that planet and it being it being like all destroyed, and maybe that the guy that helped him out will then want to go with him, if that makes sense. Because everything he had is lost. Like I picture like the bounty hunters like destroying it, still looking for him, and then maybe that guy picked up like the IG unit and reprogrammed it or something. That's my thoughts.
I think he's gonna try and return Baby Yoda. Maybe he's gonna put him in the hands of that guy, because there's no way he can continue the life of, not necessarily a bounty hunter, but as an outlaw character. There's no way he could do the rest of the series with a toddler in the backseat.
Right.
50-year-old toddler in the backseat. It's just, that wouldn't work.
Well, also I think then it would also, then people would, because Baby Yoda can only save the day so many times, and the Mandalorian doesn't really become the hero anymore.
Yeah, really.
But so like the first episode when he was fighting with him, I just liked that the guy wanted to self-destruct. Like anytime it even remotely looked like they were going to lose,
he's like, well, better self-destruct.
Yeah, like I just thought that was hilarious.
I found a meme where it was that SpongeBob one that was big for a while. The SpongeBob's like reluctantly getting out of his chair. It's the I'm a head out, but it was replaced with IG-11, and it was like, whenever anything minorly, even slightly inconveniences you, I'm a self-destruct.
Yeah. Yeah, that was probably the highlight of that show, other than seeing Baby Yoda. Like, because that was just like a shocker. Like, I can't believe they kept it that quiet.
I know. That nobody let it slip, that there was no promotional material for it, but I think that made it have such a huge impact. We don't get that a lot these days with media and movies.
Right. Well, even to me, it shows that they had faith in their show, because I worry if the same people that make movie trailers, they would have showed that.
Yeah,
like they get nervous and they're like, okay, we have to show Baby Yoda so people come, because they didn't even hint at it.
Yeah, there was absolutely no hint. There wasn't even a hint that it was like that was his goal. That was what he was trying to get to.
Right.
Because he didn't learn the age of it until like when he was on the way. That scene that we got, which was the opening scene of the show that we got to see at Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
In the panel, they didn't even hint at the age of the character at that point. They're just like, you have an age and a location, go for it, and that was the end of the scene. That's as much as we got to see.
Yeah, that was so good. And you know what, I like the I like to see the super battle droids animated or live action too.
Oh yeah, that looked cool.
That was 3. I like how he has flashbacks when his armor's getting built.
Yeah, that's a cool storytelling method. A good way to tell us, like, oh, he's got a bit of a tragic backstory. We're getting more and more information added, while he just like we're getting more information, he's getting more armor.
Right. Well, and we, there's so many Easter eggs. They had Life Day mentioned. The ship had that Clone Wars feel, which was awesome. And then episode 2 with the Jawas, the Trandoshans fighting them at the beginning was cool, because that rifle, like at first I thought that rifle was just going to be another blaster, but that rifle is like the best Star Wars gun I've ever seen. Yeah, no,
it's like I think it's, if it were in the books, they refer to that kind as like a slug thrower.
Yeah.
And it's basically a full disintegrator, just like because of how much power it can output.
Well, and it also makes that line. And when Darth Vader said no disintegrations,
makes it make sense, right?
Yeah, because it's like
we've never really seen a blaster disintegrate anybody up until this point in any Star Wars content.
Right. Well, and when he came over the hill and was shooting Jawas, like that was, I'm a Jawa. I love Jawas. My girls were Jawas for years, and when I saw the Jawas and I saw him blast, that was so good. Like seeing him trying to attack the big Jawa sandcrawler and stuff.
It was. I think it's so funny how smooth they've been, or really, really good how smoothly they've been adding humor into that show too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Between like his interactions with this IG unit, when we thought he was going to be like a silent badass killer, and the interactions with the Jawas, like it's really more. He's more of an in-depth character than I thought it was going to be. They're finding a way to use humor to give him personality as well as still being like a badass hero type.
Oh yeah, and you know what I was worried about was I was worried he was going to have his helmet off all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how many movies do you see when they put a somewhat famous person in it? You'll see a Batman movie, and then he'll never be in his Batman suit.
Yeah.
You know, which I'm really happy that he hasn't taken his helmet off yet. And that surprises me probably almost as much as the Baby Yoda surprises me.
I thought it was the comment they made about like when following the code they never take their helmet off or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to other Star Wars content, like with the exception of Boba Fett, every other Mandalorian we've seen has at some point taken off their helmet.
Well, I was thinking they meant in public or something, like in you know.
I guess like for their job, like you'd never take your helmet off at work.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and like they keep up the mystique or whatever, because I mean,
because that's what Olivia asked. She's like, "How do they eat?"
Yeah. Like, right, but I'm like that's what I wonder if it's that if it's that when they take their when they take all their other stuff with it, and that kind of makes me think of them as since there's so few of them, they're trying to almost make like more of a pure, you know, like a boiled down part of it. That's my thoughts on the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that but the Jawa scene, it was because they remind me of the old Macquarie paintings when it shows all the sand crawlers parked out in the desert and they have their doors open. It's almost like it's the same tents and everything you see that they had set up. And I mean, I thought that was hilarious that he basically had to give in to the little Jawas
to get that egg for them. I think it's ridiculous they were willing to trade all the parts back for him just for that egg.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
But...
Oh, I liked when he tried to burn them anyway.
Yeah, really.
So it reminds me of when the girls were little and they were both being Jawas. So I think Safi was probably like 5 and Zoe was 7. I showed them Troops for the first time. Mm-hmm. And have you ever seen Troops?
Yeah, I remember.
When they shoot the one Jawa and his head catches on fire. And my girls both started screaming because I forgot all about that scene.
Brutal.
But that was cool. Oh, and you know the guy that played the flute at the episode 1? The call.
Oh yeah, that one.
Right. So that R2 unit that came the first time, it's the same color as Dave Castellano's daughter's R2 that she just finished.
No kidding.
Yeah. And the guy that plays the flute is Chris Bartlett.
Oh, no kidding.
TK409. I hung with him at the Bash at Orlando.
Huh.
He's the one that did that, and he also did that bug-eyed alien bounty hunter in episode 3. So
I knew the cameo I knew was Jon Favreau as the heavy infantry trooper.
Oh, that was him. Well, that's cool.
Trooper. Yeah, it wasn't him wearing the armor, but he did the voice.
Oh, that's cool. Well, he did Fenrau.
He did Pre-Vizsla.
Pre-Vizsla.
Which is actually I read somewhere that the heavy Mandalorian, his name, he actually is a Vizsla.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was kind of cool that they all. I mean, so skipping to 3, I felt bad to see all that stormtrooper armor wrecked, but
I know, right?
it was pretty cool how he got in. Like, he busted the stupid eyeball thing, and pretty much destroyed all those, and then that throwback to Iron Man with the little rockets.
Yeah, those little...
What were they called?
What were they called again? Not stingers. They were wind something.
Wind whistlers, or did it have Whistler in it?
I don't remember.
I don't know, but that reminded me of the Iron Man at the beginning of Iron Man 1. But yeah, that was a good throwback to Iron Man. And I'm curious what's going to happen if that doctor guy that he didn't kill, if he's going to have a bigger part.
Maybe. I think it was nice of him to not
kill everyone.
Yeah, he's like, you're right. You did actually keep Baby Yoda alive, so I'm not gonna kill you, but at the same time, you don't get to keep Baby Yoda.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. I mean, I liked when he had the little ball on his ship, which was pretty funny. And I liked when that last battle when he just started disintegrating people with that rifle. Because that slowed them all down. And that scene almost reminded me of the movie Black Hawk Down.
Okay.
When those guys were like stuck in the alley and they were just, just overwhelmed.
Yeah, he was completely pinned down.
Yeah. And I think the woman that directed episode 3.
The third episode is the Obi-Wan director.
Is the Obi-Wan director, right?
That's a good indication.
Yeah. Yeah, I've watched episode 3 more than any of them. The Jawa one I really like too. But there's so much Star Wars content on Disney Plus. It's like I started watching Empire of Dreams because I haven't seen that in a while either. And I've also been reading and listening to Anthony Daniels' new book.
I just got it. I haven't had a chance to start reading it yet.
Yeah, well, I bought it, and then I bought it audio. So a lot of times I'll listen to it on my way to work, and then during lunch I'll read it, and then listen to parts of it because Anthony Daniels does all the voices for the book. So I think I'm on like chapter 42 or something like that, because his chapters are short. But that kind of got me hooked into all this other Star Wars content. And Safi being a droid.
Yeah, I remember you saying now she wants you to build C-3PO.
Yep, that's already started. That's put that back on the project pile.
Like you don't have so much other.
Oh, I know.
Projects to do.
I have a half day tomorrow, so I'm gonna be trying to cast some stuff before lunchtime tomorrow. But yeah, so I mean I think the Mandalorian. It doesn't surprise me how well it's going, but I have people that have never watched Star Wars in their life at work, and I have students coming up talking about it. Like students I don't even have. Because I'm just known as the Star Wars guy.
Oh yeah.
And so they'll stop by. Hey, so, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, when I described my show to some of my friends one of my friends hasn't even seen any of the new Star Wars movies like since Rogue One.
Oh, okay.
He didn't see Force Awakens and hasn't seen any of the new content. I told him like the premise of The Mandalorian, and he's like, "Wow, that sounds awesome. That sounds like something I'd really love to watch." Even though it's Star Wars.
Well, and I think it's driving people back to Rebels and Clone Wars too.
Because there's so much there's so many references to all that too,
right?
Especially the purged times, all that. They want the backstory that we already have because we've watched those.
Right, and the arc in Rebels when they use the armor against them. Spoiler if you haven't seen Rebels.
Spoiler.
Like a couple years ago. But that whole arc where Sabine made it like a weapon. Because that's what they showed us in Orlando or something. That was pulled into it.
I like that. Watching The Mandalorian almost with like his experience with the Beskar and seeing the Beskar being worked on firsthand there, it makes that scene from Rebels seem more believable to me. Because up until now, I've really kind of pictured Mandalorian armor as like what we have in real life, plastic and,
Right.
like ABS, and I never really, I obviously, like, in principle, in theory, I recognized the way the weapon worked, but now that I'm actually able to picture a more metallic armor and know that that's the material, it somehow became more believable to me. It made more sense.
Well, and it also makes that the episode of Rebels when Sabine is training with the Darksaber, and she gets those gauntlets, and he talks about like every gauntlet is made to mimic a power of a Jedi. I forget who was telling her that.
It was her brother or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know, but it was, so the jetpack gives them the super jump. The blast from their thing gives them, they don't have force lightning, but they got flamethrowers. They got, the big pulse like air thing that can knock people back. And so I'm wondering if we're going to see all that stuff too. Because she already given that one cool gauntlet thing.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so we could probably almost have a whole Mandalorian show. Mandalorian minute.
I think the thing I liked the most, and it was especially prevalent in the third episode, is how much emotion they're able to show for the Mandalorian while he's still wearing a helmet. I've seen more emotion in his face with the helmet on than I've seen in a lot of actors in like actual movies.
Well, and that's, you know what, I was thinking about that. That's why I think partially because I'm reading the Anthony Daniels book, and he talks about that too. Like, because he was in the same boat. He had to show a range of emotions encased in plastic or fiberglass in his case. And I agree with that. And so it is like I said, I'm just so glad. I was just worried he was going to be the Mandalorian, but he wouldn't have his helmet on the most of the time. And you should, and anyone listening to this should go to a Mando party, because it's funny because I'm all 501st. Love my 501st. 501st does all the Imperial, and I've said this before, but the Mandos, like they almost have that religious aspect to them compared to the other costuming groups already, way before the show came around. Like they have that whole yell and scream they do in Mando, and you saw how they showed up for Zoe's when Zoe got in.
Oh yeah, they were like a team going to battle or something with that. They had their little pre-show powwow that they did. They did a huddle and everything, and it was great.
And then they did that, and then they left. It was just like it's almost like in real life how they are. When you go to the armor parties, it's Mando this, Mando that. Like when Zoe got in, they give her a knife, like a handmade. It's a prop knife. It's not a real knife, but like they give them like something, and the one, I forget his name. I think it's Mike. He has a medieval Mando. And he's in Pittsburgh, but he comes down to the armor parties, and he has full metal Mando armor.
Wow.
And like the last Mando party, they were sewing on the inside. People were sewing the undershirts and all that, and people were making the armor plates and customizing their armor. Next one, you got to go with me. I'll take you.
I mean, yeah. Let me know when it is.
I'll
go along. That sounds fun.
Yeah. But yeah, the Mandalorians are going to have that same, I think that same growth spurt the 501st had when the Clone Wars came out. Like when the Clone Wars, right. I was just in for like a year and a half, and then there for a while there was no TKs to be found. I was like the only TK. So I hope they have that same growth spurt we had.
Yeah, I've noticed the Mercs have upped their marketing game on Facebook. They're riding the wave. They're like, hey, you like what you see? Come on down, join us.
Well, and I think the custom thing never really appealed to me as much as just being a 501st. I still like the canon stuff, but I see some of the good custom stuff that people are doing and actually going to some parties. Now I got a better feel for it.
I like now with the Mandalorian, we're seeing more than like we have the whole group of faceless custom Mandalorians in there.
Right.
So like now it almost feels more realistic to have your own.
Yep. Well, and the storyline promotes that.
Fake Boba Fett or fake Jango Fett.
Right. So, yeah, that's pretty exciting. So, let's see. Before we go any more Mando, I'm trying to think what I had on my list. My one computer crapped out. Oh, events coming up. Now, did you got contacted by the music video shoot tomorrow, which neither of us can go to?
Yeah, I had I saw the post on Facebook and Quinn messaged me about it, asking if I was going. I would love to. I'm technically available. I just am we probably shouldn't mention what the actual event is over here. We don't know if it's been released, but my armor's in no condition to
you could be one of those waist up shots.
Be one of those what?
Like waist up, like half the stormtroopers in the Death Star just had armor from the waist up when they were running.
No, but that's where the problem is.
Oh, what's wrong with your armor? Let's speak armor talk here.
So it's my side straps are now just I've been like changing things around. I just redid my not the plastic parts, but the shoulder straps underneath. I replaced that with 2-inch white elastic, so that's more sturdy. But I need to take some time and get the fitting just right. And now, because at Celebration I had that blowout with the Velcro on the inside of one of my side straps. I took that out and tried putting it on just using the belt as like a girdle to hold it all together, but it just wasn't. It was falling apart. It wasn't looking right. So I need to overhaul my interior strapping system.
Well, I'll look when the next Mando party is. We'll go to the next Mando party and you can bring your armor and work on it there, because they let you work on non-Mando armor there. Mm-hmm. So,
I'm waiting for I'm ordering on Amazon sheets of white Velcro, and so I can cut a sheet of it and have it be one connection across the sides.
Well, you could use sign material. That's what most guys use.
Yeah, but if I like the way Jeff has his, where if he expands or grows thinner, then he just covers it with a thicker piece of white Velcro.
Oh, I see. Yes. Okay.
So that way it's more. I change shape very easily.
Oh, okay. Well.
So I need that flexibility to be able to go.
Well, but like for my Sand Trooper, I just connected the backs of the hard plastic, and then the fronts are free floating. And then then if I get smaller or bigger, they just slide under the front ab plate. And this has been. I
still need it attached.
Huh?
I still need it attached because I'm finding without pulling the ab plate in, it like shoots out forward and knocks the my chest plate like out.
Yeah.
And has that now slipping out over top or underneath the ab plate.
Yeah, that's always an issue with mine.
And everything's still cracking all over the place. I repaired some cracks on my sniper knee plate, and after the holiday parade, that's back to being cracked again. Good old codpiece is cracked again.
Yeah.
Over the repair, now double repair spots that I have there.
I think you have to retire that into a Sandy, and you guys can do custom Mandos together.
Olivia has been saying she's been tooling with the idea of a like custom bounty hunter thing. I'm just gonna see if I can push her towards Mando. She wants to do a celebration where she goes as a custom bounty hunter, dragging around a Jar Jar head.
Oh, nice. Okay.
she thinks that would be really entertaining. And that would be a fun thing to do. So I'm all for her giving that a shot.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know if she'd go for Mandalorian. She doesn't really want to wear a helmet.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but she could do she could do like a Sabine-esque type, where she can like do a wig where she can take it off. Because I think the Mandos even let you take your helmet off if you have a story with it. So let's see. Do you have any other? Well, I guess you don't have any events. You're in repair mode.
I have the next one, and I want to be done before is the movie premiere at the Whitaker Center.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
December.
Safi and I are doing that one. I don't know if Zoe is or not, but so I'm probably coming as a TK. I'm hoping there'll be a Squire there to help Safi at the Whitaker Center. If not, if I don't have a Squire that can watch her, I'll have to like suit up after she's all up and out, and then suit down early. But
worst comes to worst, I'll just end up squiring. It's possible I might not be repaired by then. I'm lazy about that sort of thing.
well, it's cold. It's hard to repair when it's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zoe's in Southern California right now, so
lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the only event I have. I'm going to see the movie. You're going to see it too, right? At 5?
The 5 o'clock at cinema.
I couldn't pass that 5 o'clock one up.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm glad you told me about that. I would have gone to see a 6 o'clock like an idiot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because I've never gone to like that extra, more expensive showing. Then I did the Avengers Endgame with that. Safi and I went to the 5 o'clock with that. And even though it costs more, you got like popcorn drink, and you got like the special popcorn bucket and all that. So it technically wasn't that much more, if that, for seeing it an hour early.
What I'm excited for is getting to see it with the super fans.
Yes.
The theater of people who are going to be the most excited for it, that are the most willing to pay that extra bit to be there earlier. Yeah. Those are the people I want to see it with.
And I've tried to avoid as much as possible. I didn't watch the newest trailer that's out. And I've stopped listening to 3/4 of the podcast I listen to right now, just because I just don't want any spoilers at all.
Yeah. Because I saw somewhere it was posted they something involving like there's a jet trooper in action, or right. I don't know. I haven't watched it. I didn't want to be spoiled in any way. So
that's I'm trying to, but so I'm planning on seeing it that night. We'll troop to Whitaker Center and we'll get to see it, which is pretty cool to see it in the IMAX, which is really nice. Yeah. And then that Saturday, Safi and I are trying to figure out. Possibly trying to troop 3 movie theaters on Saturday. We're going to try to do 3 states: Maryland, Delaware, and Pennsylvania.
That's a hefty task.
Well, it's harder on her than me, so and I have to factor in the 45 minutes, half hour to 45 minutes of suiting her up every time.
Plus the drive.
They
have like a 5 a.m. showing, a noon showing, and an 8 p.m. showing?
Well, there's an 8 a.m. showing in Maryland, in Bel Air, that we're going to do. And I just got to look at the Delaware one. I got to see when theirs is. And then I think there's a late one in around Allentown or something. So it's just going to be time if we can do it or not.
That'll be fun and tiring. Is that eligible for the 2 troops in one day patch?
Probably not.
It's different because it's different states.
Different states. Yes, I don't think we'll make our own patch. I don't think that'll happen. But yeah, we're going to try that. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I know at the Lidditz Theater opening night, Zoe from Star Wars Geek Girl and Caden from Rebel Cause are podcasting, I think, in the lobby. They set up a podcast.
From one of the premieres?
Yeah, from the premiere. So that, like, after, I guess, I don't know what they're doing or whatever, but they're doing something because Caden got in with, he knows, I guess, the guy who owns the theater. Because we got in that theater because, remember years ago when, The Force Awakens came out, we didn't troop it. And I think I called the guy and I said, look, we're a bunch of Star Wars guys. We'll come to I think we went to the last one. Did you go to that one?
I did not.
It was like we went to the last showing of The Force Awakens. And we trooped it. We all bought our own tickets. And then after that, he was hooked on us. Because I don't think he knew who we were. You know? Because there's still such a. I had this discussion with multiple people in the last couple weeks, but there's still so many people that don't realize who we are.
Yeah.
Like, we live in that 501st Rebel Legion Mando Mercs bubble. You know.
Like, we know. We're used to it, but I guess other people just aren't.
Yeah, because we were at the Science Factory a couple weeks ago, and the parents were just amazed, and I was talking to a couple of people because I was squiring, and I was trying to explain, and they had no, like, it was like I was talking another language. They never heard of it. That didn't, you know, it just wasn't on their radar.
Which is odd because of how, like, the Science Factory is a normal thing for us. I think if at the very least more people would have known, like, oh, hey, it's the Star Wars organization.
Well, yeah, no, they knew of the costume people coming, but they didn't know it was that big. Like, they thought it was, there's 5 or 6 guys here in Lancaster or whatever that come and do it. Because I was telling them about Sunday, because they were looking for Darth Vader, and I was, you know, and I was trying to explain to them where the groups come from and how big we are. And it was just like I was saying something that, you know, they never heard of before.
How was the Science Factory?
It's fun. They made it a little bigger. I mean, it's an odd troop because we get so many people to do it, and I can't figure out why. In some ways, because it's kind of bad parking and it gets really crowded, and it's, you know. But it was a fun troop. There was a lot of. I was just there Saturday. I wasn't there Sunday. But from all appearances, it looks like they had just as good a time on Sunday as we had Saturday. But I was there with the droid builders, and that was a lot of fun. And I don't know if we talked since I was at Air and Scare. Have we talked since Air and Scare?
I don't know if we have.
No, because that's another one that you guys
told me about Air and Scare before. Did that one just happened recently?
Yeah, it happened. It usually happens the week before Halloween. Every year, like, you have to sign up, like, it fills up quick. But that's another one that's, anyone listening that's ever wants to troop with any group, you definitely want to troop Air and Scare, because it's the epitome of an organized troop. Like, they have spreadsheets and everything, and you only troop an hour, you know. And they assign you a thing.
Do any more than that?
Huh?
They don't force you to do any more than an hour?
Nope. You just sign up, and then you can troop all. It's the museum itself is open all, you know, to the public. I forget how many. It was a ridiculous amount of people, like tens of thousands of people or something, that went through this year, or something, because they had to close the parking lot. It got so full.
Wow.
And it was just like a sea of people all day. But what they do is they'll assign you a time. So if you sign up with your TK, you might get assigned to get your picture taken with Darth Vader from 3 to 4. So you have to stand at the backdrop and get your picture taken from 3 to 4. The rest of the day, you can either walk around in costume if you want, you can help at the table if you want, you can squire if you want, or you can just walk around the museum if you want.
Oh, okay.
And they have, you line up like 10 minutes before you're supposed to be in your spot, and a squire comes with a big sign that says no photos, heading to a photo shoot or something like that, and they walk you out, put you in your spot, and take the other people back. Like I said, it's the epitome of organization and just nice people all the way around. The people that do it, I forget the 2 women's name from the Virginia garrison. They just do beautiful work for all the people that are trooping. And then Zoe trooped with the Mando Mercs, so she just trooped the table. That was her first, like, full-fledged troop as a Mando Merc. Mm-hmm. And then Safi did it with droid builders. So, because you can't get in a dressing room if you're under 18. So Zoe trooped it before, but she always had to, like, change out in the hallway and stuff. And Safi, there's no age requirement for droids, which is kind of funny. So Safi just changed in the protocol droid area. She was the only protocol droid. She wound up trooping for like 3.5 hours.
Wow.
So, because she was the only protocol droid there.
No C-3PO this year?
No C-3PO, no. So, but yeah, that's if you have to put a troop on your list to go to, that's the one you want to go to. I can't think of any other one that's My computer just... Sorry for that beep. My computer just went nuts on me here. Not the one we're recording, don't worry.
Yeah, I think I hear a fan going on.
Yeah, I'm turning it off. There we go. I don't know what happened with that. That's Zoe's other computer. Yeah, so that's and then troops coming up. I would think anyone listening, they're like pretty much all the garrisons are looking for people to troop the movie theater. I know Carida has premieres in Exton, Lidditz, Carlisle, Allentown.
Maybe Allentown. I don't remember if there's one in Allentown.
There's a whole bunch that weekend. So if you're listening, and if you're not in Carida, but you're in another base or you're Rebel Legion or anyone, just shout out to where you need people. Because it seems like they don't have as many people as we haven't had in the past. So I don't know if it's just the time of year or what it is.
I think a lot of people want to go see the premiere first.
Well, that's true. I know, like, the one is letting them see the movie first, and then they're trooping on Saturday.
Yeah.
Which is always nice.
Carlisle.
Yeah.
I think it's Carlisle that's doing that.
Which is nice. The one in Carlisle I can't make it to because I got to work. Like 5 o'clock is about as early as I can promise to be anywhere. I am doing the Penguins game coming up.
Oh, okay.
Because Zoe wants to do it, so I'm doing I'm not a sports guy, so but I'm doing the Penguins game with Starkiller, I believe it is.
I was gonna say, like, the real Penguins out in Pittsburgh, or are they playing somewhere over here?
No, I'm taking Safi out to Steel City for 000. I'm not trooping it, but she wants to go out to Steel City. And then I'm coming home Sunday night, going to work Monday, then I'm taking off Tuesday and Wednesday. I took personal days to go to right back out and do the Pittsburgh game.
Oh, that's a lot of driving.
Yeah. But Zoe she's all about doing the Mando Mercs with the Pittsburgh games. She's off school and everything, so. You're getting old just if you realize Zoe's almost finished her first semester of college.
Man. That much time has passed, huh?
I know, right? She started her podcast in 9th grade.
Yikes. Well, at least it's aging well, I guess.
I guess. Well, they just hit their 4-year mark. So now they're only getting to do 1 or 2 a month right now because of being in college. That's why I was looking for this thing we're recording on now. Hopefully it sounds better to people listening. I was trying to find other methods where she could record it without having to have, like, the middleman. So you have any predictions for... Well, we have the Clone Wars coming up, too. New Clone Wars. That comes in January, right?
Forward to that.
And then we have the Cassian show. Trying to think what else new. That's all the new, and then Obi-Wan. But they haven't even started filming Obi-Wan. Though they were saying that the Ewan McGregor is the same age as Sir Alec Guinness was when they filmed New Hope.
Really?
Is that possible?
No, that can't be right.
How old was
Guinness? I thought Alec Guinness was older.
How old was he when they filmed A New Hope? Let me see. I'm going to use the internet thing. I heard it's still around. Alec. So Alec Guinness was born in 14.
He was 63 during the filming of A New Hope.
Okay, so let's see. How old's Ewan McGregor? He can't be 63.
No, Ewan McGregor is not 63. I mean, maybe for the series they're gonna make him like that age of Obi-Wan. Maybe they'll age him up or something. But are you still there?
I am. I'm trying to find out when he was born.
I get scared whenever there are silences.
There's silence. It's not recording.
Microphone.
Let me see.
Because my computer likes to just drop Wi-Fi whenever it wants.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
every so often I'll find myself talking and
Talk to
talking.
yourself.
No response.
How's the app work for you? Oh, he's 48. Okay. But he's close.
Oh, he's getting there. I think we have a few good more years of Ewan McGregor before we start to lose him.
Yeah, I think
before we got to worry about losing him.
Yeah.
He seems like he takes good care of himself.
I tell you though, back to actors, you got to read the Anthony Daniels book, or at least if you have the book in your hands.
Well, not physically at this moment.
Digital
it's
book
over in my backpack.
Well, you should. Did you read the foreword by J.J. Abrams?
No, not yet.
That's a good foreword too.
Mm.
Maybe it relates more to me because when he talks, the first couple chapters is with him putting the armor on and this and that, and it's funny like the problems he had with it. Like he was talking about how all the weight rested on his feet and stuff, and that's what when Celebration, that's what messed Safi up. So I had to reinvent how the legs, like Safi's legs, hang different than most protocol droids to fix that. Mm-hmm. So it's just funny when you hear that stuff. It's the same when you talk about when he talks about putting a stormtrooper bucket on too during filming of Return of the Jedi.
I was gonna say, when did he put a stormtrooper bucket?
He was standing around on set or something like that, and so he stuck one on. And I think the Return of the Jedi had those bubble lenses, and I don't know if you ever wore one of those helmets with the bubble lenses in them.
Yeah, I have before.
Because my kit came with those bubble lenses, and those things are terrible unless it's super bright and sunny out. Any darkness or secondary light throws everything off.
Yeah, they're not great.
Yeah, I took those out. I wore it one time with that, and those things went in the garbage. So, yeah, we'll have to talk about armor next. You know what? I was thinking what show, before I got hooked into Mando, and I've been thinking nonstop, nothing but Mando, was we should do a show of the history of the TK suit.
The history of the TK suit, huh?
Like who made it, like, because, there was that legal battle for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Of who owned it. And then you have, like, there's a couple websites I was looking at, like White Armor, and there's a couple that you just don't really update anymore, about, like, the history of each helmet. Like, there's that whole line of helmets that supposedly came from a cast down of one of the originals. Like, I forget what companies, like, claimed ownership of those for the longest time. And occasionally you'll see one of the original helmets go up for auction. So I think that'd be a neat show to do some research on just like the history of it. Because what I thought was fascinating in the C-3PO book was when they were filming in Tunisia. No. Yeah, when they were filming, New Hope in the desert. Mm-hmm. I guess the woman who created C-3PO died in a car accident.
Oh, no.
So she never got to see C-3PO on film.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, so I was thinking, I wonder if there's a story like that with the TK armor. Because the TK armor, like, I would argue, maybe just because I'm a TK, but I would argue that that's probably one of the, if you had to pick like 5 or 6 iconic things, Star Wars, the TK armor is at least one of those.
Oh, definitely.
Because, so I'm just curious the history of all the stuff.
That sounds like a lot of research.
Well, I have that one book, the TK book, that has a little bit of it in it. That white one, You ever see that one?
Yeah, I have that one too. Somewhere.
Okay. So I was going to flip through that. Maybe someone will hear this and send us more information about TK. I'm just curious, like I you always see the Macquarie art with what the TK look like, but I'm curious if there's pictures of like prototypes, like, because I know there's those pictures of all the TK helmets stacked, in England when they were making them. Mm-hmm.
I know there's the prototype with like the lightsaber. The TK was holding the prototype lightsaber.
Right, but that was just a drawing. I don't think they ever physically made that armor.
Oh yeah, you're talking like physical prototypes.
Yeah, okay. I'm curious, like, of the prototypes, like what didn't make the cut, you know, or why a certain thing made it. You know, and even like I said, even the history of like some of the, like there's some of the armor, like I think the FX armor is one of them. Like some of the armor lines are traced back to like Disney parks that were made for the Disney park shows. Like there's, you know, and if you watch some of these shows, like I forget the antique, one of those like, not like those pawn shop shows. The one guy was going to buy some armor, and his expert came in, and it was FX armor. But the expert was like, "Oh, this was cast off," and it was just funny, you know. If you don't know anything about it, you'd be like, "Wow, I got Stormtrooper armor from the movie," and it was FX armor with the Hasbro blaster. You know, and I can't tell some of the armor, but I've worn FX for, I don't know what is it, since
know FX when you see it.
I can see FX, you know, pretty quickly, especially if they still have the FX helmet. Now if you, the ab plates are usually just a little big, but the shoulder bells and the chest plate and the helmet, they give it away pretty quick.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, we'll have to. You know, we're gonna drop 2 episodes here in a couple of days. It's gonna shock the system.
Unless my computer goes crazy again and doesn't want to mix the episode for another month.
Well, I'm curious. You have to tell me how this recording is to see if it's any better. Or we could have just been talking for 61 minutes for no reason.
It hasn't recorded, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a recording. It records it in your browser. So, but I think that's a good time to call it an episode. So next time we'll try to talk about Stormtroopers.
There was one more thing I wanted to bring up. Going back to the Mando, I know the full Mando episode here.
Yes, yes.
It was. Did we see the armor forger Mando in the first episode, or were they not introduced until the second one?
No, I think she was in the first one because she made his shoulder bell.
Yeah, she was in the first one, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I keep seeing all these things circulate around on the internet. People are getting mad that there are, like, uber feminists are getting mad that there was no female in the first episode.
Yeah, no, she was in there. She was in there.
No, she was in there, right? Okay.
Yeah. I think there's a whole bunch of people that are mad at Lucasfilm, and they see that people are liking The Mandalorian, and so they're the same people that just disliked The Force Awakens for whatever reason, and I think they're just trying to throw water on because everyone liked it, you know, like, and they're just trying. Okay, what can I do to get some people riled up? Because I saw a bunch of those posts too, and I was like, it just seems very coincidental coming from a certain group of people. But yeah, she was on the first one. I mean, because remember, that's where he got his shoulder. They called it a pauldron.
Yeah.
But it was a shoulder bell.
Yeah, it's a shoulder bell.
I was like, come on, Mando. You know, learn what your armor is. I do like the little electronics underneath. You know, there's a Mandalorian. Cool. There's a little Mandalorian merc somewhere thinking, okay, I got to make my armor that cool.
Well, some of them, if they have like the lights. Little lights sticking out. They probably already have something like that.
Well, and so the armor I bought comes with lifetime updates. So as soon as the show hit, they sent me all the files for the silver armor too.
Oh, cool.
So
I like that one.
But I tell you, I do like that bug-eyed alien. That bug-eyed alien bounty hunter. Did you see him?
The hat.
He kind of looks like Mantis.
Oh, okay.
He has no hat. He's like it looks like a big dome on his head with 2 bug eyes. I think it's black, shiny black.
Oh yeah, that guy.
So I thought that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of cool aliens in there. Dominic Pace, I think his name is an actor from L.A. Who is in one of those guys too, and he said he's going to do my daughter's podcast. So I figure once he does that podcast, I'll hit him up to do our podcast.
There we go.
But yeah, I think the Mandos we're just gonna end with Mandos too. When that guy came with that big like Gatling gun looking thing, that reminded me of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And then Zoe just leaned over and said, "When am I getting my backpack? Because I still owe her a backpack for her Sabine." So, and they're the backpacks for the Mandos aren't too bad, but for Sabine it's bad because I have to somehow figure out how to attach it with no straps because she can't have any visible straps.
Yeah.
So, and if I alter the shirt, then I have to get a whole nother shirt for when she doesn't wear the backpack.
I'd say your best bet would be like some sort of magnet, like a strong magnet set in there or something.
I'm probably gonna get a T-shirt, get pieces of metal sewn into it that she'll wear underneath.
Yeah.
And put magnets, and I probably still will put safety straps that come down from the underneath her shoulder armor that you can't see. I just don't trust magnets altogether.
That's fair.
For something that I'm going to put so much time into.
Just having the metal sewn in, that's a good idea. I had thought, because I've heard people having problems of sewing the magnets straight into the shirt.
Yeah, no.
They gotta pull the shirt out and it's all bunched up because all the magnets stuck together, and then they have an impossible time putting it on.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely put a plate. I'll put metal plates in the shirt. I just learned my lesson from you always put the plates in the soft stuff and the magnets on the hard stuff. Mm-hmm. Costuming tip from me. It's like the first time I put Velcro in my TK, I put all the put the soft side facing out, and I wrecked my Under Armour because I never thought of that. I was like, oh,
everything's always grabbing.
Yeah, it just ripped my Under Armour to shreds. So yeah, we'll have to talk more 501st and stuff once we're out of Mando and episode 9 Fever.
Yeah, really.
Maybe I'll have an update on all these other builds I'm going to get done.
Yeah, let me know when you have that the Beskar chest plate printed out. I'd love to get my hands on one of those.
Yeah, well, once they're printed, they'll be printed and molded. They'll be ready to go. And then we'll just have a whole bunch of Mandos flown around. But yeah, when I find out there's a Mando Merc party, I'll let you know. And anyone around, if you know a Mando and you get invited to a Mando Merc party, I definitely would not miss it because they're a fun group of people.
Do it.
Yeah. Well, the Armor Party's 501st ones are fun too, but the Mando Mercs, it's just like a different flavor. It's and they're in that infancy stage, of. Like it's because I don't even think there's 30 Mandos in Pennsylvania.
I was looking online. Of course, in the research phase, I was looking through the Mando Mercs forums, and I found their member database.
Right.
I don't even think that's updated because it looked like there were only 3 or 4 in Pennsylvania.
Nah, you have to go. I think Chad, who's in our garrison, he made a website. And I think, hang on, I might be able to tell you how many Mandos there are in PA right now.
It's got to be more than 4, right?
No, it's definitely more than 4 because Zoe's one of them and she's new. Let's see. Hang on, I'm old man with a phone here. Sorry, people, just listen to the sweet music of me.
But I think they're not even at like 2,000 members worldwide. They're so much smaller than.
Oh right, I know.
Than what we've gotten used to at the 501st. We're upwards around what 15,000 now, 15,000.
Probably yeah. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Members, foundlings. Oh man, they got there. Let me see.
I think that's a cool concept introduced too, is that like anybody can be a Mandalorian. Even the non-Mandalorians are also Mandalorians.
Well, yeah, I didn't know how to take that. I didn't know if that meant like they were kind of like scattered on the wind during the purge, like almost like refugees.
Maybe. I was seeing that more as like it didn't really matter what race you were, as you could adopt into Mandalorian culture.
Yeah. So here we go, 24.
There are 24 in PA?
24 in PA. Because it has to be updated because it has Zoe's helmet on it. So it is somewhat updated.
Gotcha.
But if you go to pamercs.com So since we're doing an all Mando episode, we'll push the Mercs. But pamercs.com, you can see like all the helmets. The first one is name. They each get like like we get a TK number. I think they still get a number, but it's only for like the bureaucracy of being in a group. They go by their names. And I think you make up your own name with something. And the one guy, the first one is Orikad. He's the medieval Mando, which is a pretty cool looking helmet.
How are you spelling Mercs?
PA-Mercs.com. I should have said dash.
Mercs.com.
Shout out to Chad for a beautiful website.
Oh yeah, Mav Oya Lachlan. Unless there's a better way to pronounce that.
Yeah, I give up. They all pronounce it right, and I sound like a 501st person that just needs to shoot them because I'm a stormtrooper.
Oh, that's cool that they have the helmets like that.
Yeah, and then if you click on the helmet, it takes you to their person.
Oh, okay. Oh, so she's even in here as Sabine. That's cool.
Yeah, we didn't have an action shot, so they had to use one of her submission shots.
Is she in only as that version of Sabine?
That's the only. Yeah, they only have 4 versions, and so I have to finish her gauntlets, and then she can be the heavy armored. I'm learning all these Mando Merc CRLs too. So yeah, so she because Zoe has 4 different costumes of Sabine, but they only have 2 seasons of Sabine in their CRLs, and both of them are like light and heavy. So she can be season 4 heavy when we get the gauntlets done. I mean, because they're tough,
Fafnir. Huh? One of these guys' name is Tyr Fafnir.
Yeah.
2 different Norse mythology characters in one name.
Yeah, like I said, it's a good group of people when it comes to they're just so helpful, and all the costuming groups are. I'm not. It's just since this is our heavy Merc show, all of them are too. But
you got to think about what would your signet be. I've been trying to think about what my signet would be, and I haven't quite figured it out yet.
Dianoga.
Yours would be a Dianoga?
No, I don't know. I think mine would have to be a Bantha, because either the Bantha or a Dewback. Because for me, Tatooine is because it's the first movie I saw when I was a little kid. Tatooine is always like that planet for me. Mm-hmm. Though a Womp Rat would be kind of cool. It depends. I mean, like if I was a little bigger, like a taller, I'd probably pick like a bigger. But Womp Rat, you could do the Rancor would be another good one. Because you could have like Rancor teeth hanging. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Like your weapon could have like Rancor teeth stock and all that kind of stuff.
Have to have killed either one really big one or a lot of Rancors.
Yeah, see the Signet. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to say that about episode 3. I'm still thinking the Signet for him could be the Yoda species.
I think that's what I think that would be really cool. I think I like that.
Because I'm thinking like if you took like the Yoda eyes looking thing like Rex had and on his helmet or something. I don't know. Mainly because I look at what Sabine did. Her signets that she changed over the years were not necessarily things that she killed.
But they were things that had importance to her. That
right, because
she's like a new set in life.
Right, because she started with the wolf in season 1. I only know this because I've made all this armor multiple times. Mm-hmm. And then season 2, she changed her one shoulder bell to have the 5 on it. Where the season 1 it didn't have the number on it. Season 2 she put the 5 on it, and she changed it to the Fear Knock, which was that thing that her and Hera were trapped at.
Oh,
and
that's right. That's what that was.
Yeah, the little Fear Knock. She put a Fear Knock on, but she put the 5 on. And so to me, the Fear Knock was probably kind of a big deal, but the 5 was a bigger deal, because that was her Spectre 5. That was her showing that that's her family.
I thought it represented the 5 of them. I guess that would make
no,
sense.
but yeah, but her code is Spectre 5. And then she went from that.
There are 6 of them.
She went to the Owl. And that was when she met Sabine. I mean, when she met Ahsoka. And she kept the Owl until the epilogue. She put the wolf markings on her helmet. So there's 2 silver lines on the helmet that have that same appearance. When you look at it, it looks like the wolf head from the Wolf Pack. And I only knew that because I had to paint that. And she put the Purgle.
Yeah.
And she kept the 5.
Ezra.
So she put the Purgle for Ezra, and she kept the 5 for being Spectre 5, but she put the wolf too on her helmet. And I think she got rid of the rebel symbol. Yeah, she got rid of the rebel symbol in season 5 on her chest, which I don't know what that signifies. Other than Dave Filoni just wanted me to paint another chest plate.
I think it probably had something to do with more because the rebels became known. Maybe she needed to stop labeling herself as one, so it was easier to move around while still in her armor and not be like.
Yeah, not season 5. I'm sorry. She kept the rebel symbol in season 5. She got rid of the rebel season in the epilogue, so she didn't need the rebel symbol anymore. That's what it was. I'm looking at all my paint jobs here. So this has been the Mando show.
Yeah. Classic Mandos. New Mandos. All Mandos. Everything Mando. And Baby Yoda.
Yeah, and Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda is my happy place. I am 1,000% on board with Baby Yoda.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, that they kept it that secret shows me that someone really cared. Like, because it only takes one disgruntled person to... I sent you a picture.
Like that slip.
I sent you a picture of the pistol.
In
your Facebook Messenger.
Oh, yeah, there it just came in. Oh, wow, that's looking good. Oh, and that really looks good with the wood handle there, yeah.
Yeah. I messed the tip up a little bit, so I'll print another one this week, but it's a quick print too.
I still want one of those ones that's like the Stormtrooper promotional material blaster, yes. the single, like the officers hold out blaster or something.
That's the one Lando had too.
That's the one I want.
Lando had the silver one. I need to just get myself printing again is what I need to do. It's just school this year has not been easy school year, so
oof.
It's just been busy. Just so I'm trying to.
So you need to put the 3D printer in your classroom.
I have 2 at school. There. I have 2 at school, but the problem is most of the stuff I want to print's a gun. And the last thing I want to do is be printing anything that looks like a gun at school.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, but anyhow, so anyone that's listening to this, please hopefully enjoyed our Mando show. Please rate us on iTunes, SoundCloud. I don't know if I got us on iHeartRadio yet or not. But when I do get us on iHeartRadio, rate us on there as well. If you want to email me, it's mike@caridacast.com. Colin is colin@caridacast.com. You can find us both on Facebook. I think that's all.
Catch us at the movie premieres or events coming up nearby.
Yes, yeah, we'll try to record at least something the day of the premiere. Even if we just throw up a 5-minute show without any,
quick clip.
Because we're going in at 5, so it's not like the first 2 times I went to like 2 showings opening night and got home at like 3 a.m. So.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll be super quick. You guys can hear us talk our excitement for 5 minutes before we go see the movie, and then and then we'll talk your ears off with spoilers for that too.
Right. We'll talk right out in the lobby so everyone can hear.
Everyone can hear it. It'll be great.
I don't even like to speculate about that movie anymore because I don't even want a random speculation to be true.
No expectations going into it. Exactly.
I just want to. I'm going to be sad. I know I'm going to be sad because it's over, but it's not going to be over. So, like, Safi can't even watch the part with C-3PO without tearing up. When Safi's crying, you know it's bad. Zoe will cry on the drop of a hat, not Safi.
she'll start crying with the opening credits.
Oh, I think that's what happened with I think she did start crying at The Force Awakens.
Probably.
Like right when the music started.
I did too.
Yeah.
I was so excited to have new Star Wars content.
Well, no, you know what? I think the biggest emotional thing that surprised me in the last year though was the Phantom Menace panel at Celebration.
Oh yeah,
I just forgot how much I liked that movie. Because it's an easy movie to pick on. But I forgot how, because that's the one that surprised me. Like I thought Star Wars was done. You know.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the first Star Wars movie I ever saw as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's you're about the right age for that. That's the first one I took Missy to opening night. We went to Manor Cinema down near Millersville. Mm-hmm. There were people in line all day, and I bought my tickets and just walked right in past them. Because I don't think they realized, because they didn't have assigned seats, but you could buy and we were the third person in line. So
nice.
So anyway, so rate it. Hopefully the sound comes out good. And may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.